university, in the smart boards introduced, our Vice-Chancellor thought, first it has to go to the HRDC, where the teachers from all over the country are participating. In that respect, they have first installed to us so that our offline courses get benefit out of that. And being a Sunday, you can imagine how he is very keen on addressing the participant and spending time with us. We can add on many laurels. The way this university was functioning 6 years back, and as and when he entered this campus, each and every aspect he attended very carefully, and now he made this campus is a smiling face of the human beings, not only for the campus, even for the country. That's why every time we used to say, he is the Vice-Chancellor of Vice-Chancellors. He used to give direction how the Vice-Chancellors should function in a university. Very minutely he will address the issues. That is his credentials. People may admire his vision and mission for this cause of higher education. If you go to his chamber, whatever the vibration you are getting, it is immense. You may be thinking of taking one photograph with him. Immediately our sir will say you can take 10 photographs. Not only for photographs, but whatever you are aiming for, whatever your request may be. That positivity, how he encourages whether the students or teachers, whomever. One of our courses, one participant came and said, "Sir, I came to this university to inquire whether I can get the job position as UGC, assistant professor in this university. I met the Vice-Chancellor, immediately asked me, come and join, report immediately." He was from Coimbatore. He was trying all over the country to join where he can go and join. He came here to just inquire. By showing the order, sir said immediately you can come and report. Next morning he reported on duty. Like that, I can add on, but I will not take much of his time. You can now may I request our esteemed director, HRDC, as well as our present registrar of our Pondicherry University to welcome and request our esteemed Vice-Chancellor to launch the smart board and bless us.
I feel really privileged to welcome our honorary Professor Gurmeet Singh, the Vice-Chancellor of University. And as you know, you have been here for now about more than 10 days, and you all know, you have met him during the Republic Day function also. And as Professor Panchramlingam was mentioning, I think his reputation is throughout India, not only in India, all over the world. Wherever he has gone, he has made his mark. So it is all because of him that we are able to do whatever little we can achieve so far in the HRDC as well as in the university. So we are really honored that Professor Gurmeet Singh is with us today for this particular function. And even though this function we are calling as the launching of the new interactive smart board, but this is just an excuse we made so that we can have him with us to inspire all of us. So our main motive of this particular today's function is that we get inspired, we get motivated, as always we do, by his words, and just by his presence itself is very inspiring. So that was the reason that we thought we will make use of this particular function of launching the new smart board. So I'm very happy that he is there. So I welcome him formally. I also welcome the course coordinator. You have been interactive with him, Dr. Vijay Kumar, our librarian. And by now you would have realized that how meticulously he has arranged all these resource person, all these lectures. Today itself you must have had just now very exciting class by our very popular, very respected resource person, Dr. Kupuswamy. So I welcome him also. He is one of, we are very grateful that always he takes time for us, not only for this particular course. We made sure that he's there in almost all courses because his knowledge is valuable in almost all subject disciplines. So I welcome him to Dr. Kupuswamy. And more importantly, as we also discussed during our inaugural function, that this particular refresher course on library information science is much more important, or I would say that because in the context of the pandemic, this is the subject which was hit most. So we also were very eager that this is our first physical course and we should go all out to make sure that you get all the best experience of learning as well as the ambience. Because we have been discussing that this library information science is something which encompasses almost all subject discipline and which is the most challenging subject discipline if you ask me personally, because as a librarian, as a library information science resource person or a faculty member, you are supposed to take care of almost all subjects. You are supposed to be at the forefront of the technologies. So from that point of view, we are slowly going to the end of this course, so we would be looking forward to your feedback also, whether we could actually achieve the stated objectives of this course or not. I would not take much words because we are all here just to get inspired by Professor Gurmeet Singh ji, the Honorable Vice-Chancellor.
Good morning, friends. Good morning, sir. I'm delighted to see all of you probably for the first time here after the onset of pandemic, which is now almost over. We should be thankful to our medical fraternity and to our IT experts who made it possible that even during the height of pandemic, we were contacting each other, we were having a normal life through online mode. But after this came under control and we got over it, we started physical activities in terms of lectures, meetings, and in HRDC it is probably the first one we are attending now, which is a very heartening feature, let me tell you. And that first one which we are having is the launch of this smart board, as we call it. I still maintain the smartest is the one who takes a chalk, goes to the blackboard and starts teaching. That is always there, because when we teach, our eyes are on you and it will scan from one corner to another, and a good teacher would always make out who is with him and who is not, who is thinking about a movie, Pathan, or who is thinking about what is being taught. So it's all you can decipher. But though online has fulfilled our gap very well, but you cannot make out you can't see the expressions, you can't make out whether one is really enjoying the learning part or not. And some people are smart enough, they just switch on the mode and then start doing their own activities wherever they are. But that apart, the fact of the matter is that we have done very well during pandemic also. Now, the dignitary sitting here, Registrar, and the Director of HRDC, Mr. Rajneesh Bhutani, who will be relinquishing this responsibility, because even I feel it is too much of a burden carrying on all this, and then he is also heading his department. So we can always say that one is very good in all respects, but then there is a limit. You can always put a burden on somebody's back, but a stage comes when the back starts breaking. So before that breaks, we need to help him out to focus on his department and to the university activities in terms of registrarship. So that's one, and he's done a wonderful work, there is no doubt about it, I need not be saying it. Then we have our HRDC convener, coordinator, sheet anchor, backbone, whatever way you want to put it, Professor Panch Ramlingam, who would be now taking over soon enough as the full-fledged director here, because he is the one who has been doing it, and it's just a matter of time. And I am delighted that he is conducting this physical mode seminar here. And since it is the launch of a new smart board, interactive smart board, the librarian automatically comes into picture, and who's always been thinking ever since he joined about whatever best can be brought into the university in terms of best practices being followed in terms of teaching. And incidentally, the resource person who's here, Professor Kupaswamy, I have interacted with him on many an occasion earlier, and I found him very knowledgeable, very alert, very good person to talk to. And there are some people whom if you talk to, they are always very pleasant to talk to. They will not mince words, they will not beat about the bush, and they'll put your things straightforward. So there's the team you have here, and I am very happy that I could see about 28 participants sitting here. Now, where is the need to do this? You would be wondering, since this is a refresher course, which is in Library and Information Sciences, where is the need for this? Let me tell you, a time is going to be in where such a kind of facility would be required for all courses, including languages, Hindi, Sanskrit, English, French, whatever. This is going to be a need. I have been a teacher all my life, and I have been teaching most of the times with the chalk and blackboard. We will just walk into the class and start teaching, unless you need to give some data in the class, where we would look at the paper and we'll write that data to highlight our points. One would rarely require anything, because whatever is to be conveyed, whatever is to be taught, you would prepare at your home. And I have always been maintaining, whenever I used to prepare for my talks, if my friend comes in or if any relative comes in at home, they will say, "Hey, what are you doing? Where is the need to study? You have been teaching for all along and for that long." I said, no, even if you know the subject very well, what is to be conveyed to a class, you need to plan that talk. Because you can while away your time when I'm chatting with my friends, colleagues on certain general matters, but when I'm going to be talking to a class, there is going to be a group of about 60 students. We used to have 60 to 80 students in our classes. So each minute that I'll be wasting, it is not 1 minute, it is 1 into 60 multiplied, 60 minutes being wasted. So therefore I have to be very judicious in whatever I select. Now when I used to do that, there are occasions when you have to draw some figures, you have to draw some complicated drawings. Of course we were able to do it, but we would never be able to do that well, which is actually there in the printed form. So you would draw that, you would draw keeping in mind the time that you have at your disposal. So you may not highlight all the points, you will give the outlines. And at times there is a thing called flow diagram of the concept. Of course that is required, that is important, that is essential. You register very well, but there can be nothing better if I could give you a real picture, or I go a step further if I give you a real picture with the functioning of that. Functioning model, or an actual model in the form of the way it is operated, if that is shown, you will never be able to forget. I'll give you an example. If I tell you now that, let's say Mercedes-Benz car looks like this, it has this kind of a shape and this sort of facilities in this. There is a leg room, you can move your seat up and down, head and forward and behind and whatever way. You can rotate your seat, you can control with the touch of a single button. I can give you all the things. But if I put that car functional model and I tell you, well, this is how it looks like and this is one button which is used, you'll never forget that. Because when you see something, it gets into mind as a photographic memory. But when I'm describing, maybe a picture I would describe, depending upon the talent of a teacher, in 100 words, 1000 words, 500 words. How many of those words you will register would depend upon an individual's capability of how much focus you have in the class. If you are fully focused, probably you will retain about 80% to 90%. And if you are diffused into your thoughts, then your retention will be below 50%. And if you are down to something else, then it may be 20%. So a class which is attended with absolutely full focus is not beyond 90%. Rarely it is, unless somebody has a memory like Shakuntala Devi or Pandit Deen Hardyal, the great person who was a person on whose name number of libraries in the country are there, and a person who started this culture. a vociferous reader. Unless you have that kind of a memory, probably 100% attention is not that easy. But when you have a smart board, where at the touch of a button, I will take you to Coimbatore, I will take you to a chemical factory, I'll run a movie here that you are entering and this is the way a plant is running. So one is I'll show you how am I going to make a particular chemical processes, I'll give you a flow diagram. When I do that, I'll be probably wasting about 25 minutes, 30 minutes on that. But when I actually show you a moving picture, wherein you will see, okay, this is the way a blast furnace looks like, this is the height of a column, this is how we enter, this is what the setup of a factory is. So all that run through which I do in about 4 to 5 minutes, you will remember much better than what I will be talking here. And the other part is when I am showing you data through this, it is at the flip of a touch of a finger. So I'll be able to show you much more. And when I'm showing you there with the color, with the combination, with background, with the attraction of the presenter there, you will retain much better than when I'm teaching here. Some people would just stand like a statue and keep on speaking at the same tone to such a monotonous extent that it will put you to sleep. They won't move, they will not draw properly, they will not write properly, they'll start from this corner, go to the south direction. So you will not relish. And then there are teachers who would speak loudly, move their pitch, high, low, thinner, heavier, right here, move from one board to another board. So when one corner to another corner, your thoughts are going to be with me all the time because you're looking at this way and that way. What am I doing here and there? Anything that I write, you will be writing it down because when I move from here to there, you get time to write that. But when I'm speaking like a tape recorder the same monotonous way, you will find you will not feel like writing. And that's what you would have seen. I keep telling teachers, since you are teachers, you see when you travel in a train or a bus, you would have noted that we are all very alert, very attentive, very happy, and any passenger who's sitting in front, when you go, hi, good morning, namaskar, where are you going? You immediately start something, or even if you don't say anything, you hear a lot of things. When people are crisscrossing, they're putting their luggage here and there, you are alert. You will rarely find anybody sitting in the train or a bus and immediately dozing off. No. You will wait, who's coming, who's sitting, what is being done. When the bus moves, you are very alert. And when the bus moves or a train moves for about 5-10 minutes, initially slowly, then it gives a jerks, picks up the speed, little more faster. When it comes to that rhythmic speed, uniform speed, after that you would find, and you note it next time, 80% of the passengers, be in bus, aircraft, whatever ship, you will find they will slowly start dropping their head. And some drop their head to an extent that they start snoring very loudly. And people turn, what is happening? That is because of the monotony of the atmosphere. Same speed the train moves, tuck, 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 same speed, same sound, so you go to sleep. Suppose the train moves very fast, brakes, then again moves and the sound changes, you will never sleep. Same thing happens in bus. Same thing happens in car unless you are driving, the other fellows will. But if I drive very fast and slow down and put a brake, make the music very loud, slow, if I change the atmosphere, you will not sleep even for a second. That's what happens in a class. If a teacher starts like a tape recorder on the same pace, you are put off to sleep. And this is what you notice because of the monotony of the moment. 80% of the passengers, they sleep. That is the reason that they write in the bus on seat number 1, 2, 3, you are not allowed to sleep. Because if you sleep, the driver will look at it, oh, you are dozing off, he will also doze off, and you can understand what is going to be happening. This is what happens in teaching also. Now, every teacher is not an actor, every teacher is not a dancer, every teacher is not a singer. So therefore, there is a rarity that one will change voice, one will change style, one will change the writing. So unless that is done, the teaching becomes more or less monotonous. And this is where we tell people that you have to be speaking in a manner that it is registered very well. Now that part is very well overtaken when we move down to the smart boards. It used to be there in a different way. We'll make slides, we'll make films, but then we had to have our equipment. I have to have slide projector or overhead projector. I'll put my slides. But then I don't have the liberty. I'm putting a slide. Whatever is there, that is there. Rarely I'll use my pen and change things. That also we started doing. There was a OHP where you could straight away write, change things. Gradually moved down the technology, and we have now reached a stage where this is going to be there. I am teaching, but suppose I am talking about a country and I have to tell you, oh, there are 28 states, the largest state is this, it will become again monotony for you. But suppose I tell you this is the state which is the largest, this has the largest forest area, population, this, that. I will be speaking, but what you will be seeing is on the board, you will be seeing for yourself. India's map, I pulled the largest state out. The complete data is going to be there and everything will be done. There won't be any pause at the touch of a button. This is what you will enjoy. That okay, I'm talking about Northeast, so the whole Northeast is there. I'm talking about this particular equipment, it is there. So it will be a virtual reality where you will be seeing things for yourself. This is the need of the hour. The idea is, the advantage is, I don't have to waste time in putting the data. I don't have to waste time in drawing this. Good old days, let me tell you, it may be out of context here, but then when I used to teach, I'm talking about early 80s. What I would do is, I would write data or a complicated diagram. Originally there was no photocopying, we used to have glass tracing. We used to do all that, and then I would make photocopies. If there are 60 students, I'll take 60 copies. There is no point if I show you one slide with all the data, you will all look at it, okay, fine. You will not be able to copy it, you will not be able to write it. Now along with that, if I distribute before the start of a class, I used to give this to everybody, that I'm going to use these slides, and when I project, you look at it. So when I was talking about, I used to talk about data or a picture, you have it in front of you, and you look at it and you start telling that. So your focus will be on that as well as on listening, and that is what is there already with you. That would form part of the class note and you will register much better. Now what I noted when I was doing this kind of a style of teaching, many of our students who were there, who were learning the most complicated of the topics, they did extremely well and they are fanned out all over. All over means all over, I'm meaning it. Be it a profession of chemical industries in the United States or Korea or elsewhere, they are there. That is on the strength of that. Now this has been given a real shape in the form of a smart board. I can actually show that. Suppose I am talking about some state like Colorado and the chemical industry there, I'll actually be able to show it here. This is such an enriching experience. Now again the catch will be, well, I'll be able to do all that. I'll be able to show it. I'll be able to convey it to you. Maybe I will be able to hold it and tell you, you can take a picture of that through your mobiles. Another advancement, and through that you can always look at what was done. I can hold it. Then after that, I would carry on whatever I was to convey in a class of 50 minutes, I would be able to do that probably in 20 minutes, 10 minutes. And you will be able to register everything better and you will be able to have the notes with you. Now catch here is, here again you require a person who is athletics, who believes in moving. If I am standing here, I have a remote, then I am dependent on that. But suppose I am teaching here, I will be moving here and there and I will immediately click what data I need. Suppose I need something which I taught you 3 days back, I will pull that also. But that is what is needed when I am moving along with that. So this is a great advancement towards conveying to the class academic concepts in the best of ways. And that, when I say academic concepts, it is not pertaining to one subject. You will say, well, you are talking about only science. No, I am not talking about science. I am talking about everything, including Sanskrit and Hindi. The kind of olden text that we had in Sanskrit and Hindi and Tamil for that matter, I probably will never ever be able to show you that this is the way Tamil scripts were there 1,000 years back. How this advanced. But here, if we feed the data in that, I'll be able to pull out that. And we'll be able to show you that this is the way it came up. Suppose I'm talking about a monument, Taj Mahal or Qutub Minar or any temple here in South or Meenakshi temple for that matter, how it came up, I'll be able to draw a history. This is how it started in this year and this is the way it was built. If that is shown, you will never ever be able to forget that. So this is the advancement. I will be able to convey you much more in much lesser time to an extent that it will be imbibed in your minds and you will have a photographic retention in whatever you have learned. If that you are going to do, obviously you will be conveying it in a much better, concerted manner to your students. But I am saying, cycle everybody drives. When you advance we'll put you to scooter or a motorcycle, you take time, And there you would have noted, I'm sure you would have, when you have started learning scooter driving from cycle to scooter, when you're upward, you start exerting more. And when you are driving scooter, when you move uphill, you need to lower the gear. Of course, now there are automatic gears. But if one doesn't remember, a beginner, what he does is out of habit that he will push the scooter, it will not go, and then he'll, start acting that is as if he's riding a bicycle without realizing that he's not exerting, but his mannerism will be that. So that also he overcomes in a day or so, 3 days, 1 week. Same thing will happen here. When you're teaching, you are slow. Here will be very fast. So there will be a lag in the initial stages, but that lag the teacher has to overcome, which is not going to be a very difficult thing. One would start enjoying this, and this will be a greater learning experience for the students across, be it teachers, students, whatever. So this is going to be in for a revolution. And if we are in for a revolution, obviously the retention, the conveying of concepts will be far better, and you will enjoy. And if you will enjoy, obviously your students are going to be enjoying. And then we will be able to put our knowledge for the benefit of society to a much better extent than what we are doing. Right now, if you tell them, well, you have taught about water supply, pipe laying, when we put it to the practice, we find you find it very difficult. No, this is not my job. I know this is the way you do it, but a practitioner will do it. But here, learning this way will enable you. You will say, I've seen it, let me tell you, this is the way you do it. So the application side will also become much better. And if that becomes better, obviously, we are in for a better time for our society. The problems we are facing will be attended to faster, better, and in a more economic manner. If all this we can do it, well, we are in for a good time. And that's what we are all hoping for, isn't it? We used to post a letter, one I'll write and I'll tell my friend, look, are you going to that side? Please post this letter. And if he's not responsible or not, he will forget. And he'll go home, oh, I have to post this letter, so he'll post this next day. This is the way it used to get delayed. Now you're not doing that. You're sending a message, you press a button, it goes. And there's an evidence that you have posted it this time. This is the way things have changed. We thought we will never be able to operate this. Your parents would have told you, you are handling computer, email, do you know what to do? Everybody has learned now. A vegetable seller is receiving payment through Paytm. I mean, that's a different thing. I have never used it till now. But I'm saying it's not difficult to adopt to a technology. Therefore, the way things are changing is for your betterment. And this would change if our universities and institutions are ready to adapt to this. Many have not done it. Many have done it a few months back. So we also discussed, deliberated what to do, how to do. Ultimately, we have reached this stage. I'm glad that this has now started and we have launched it here. And we have launched the first one here formally for a center which is the center for guiding those important ones, teachers. So nothing better could have been there. I'm glad that we have started from here. And then we have started from here at the right quarter for the right subject, which is library science. If libraries are not well kept, let me tell you, then the universities are not well kept. If I am a chemist and I go to a book, I am not able to trace it for 1 hour, no use of that. So libraries health, libraries betterment is a betterment for the community as such, university community. And for that matter, betterment of the whole academic institution. And so I am very delighted that this is started in HRDC for library science and for all of you. So this will spread faster, and in fact we have launched it, we have put it everywhere, and will get going now with the launch of this. We'll say it has been formalized now, please get going. So you are lucky that you have all come here to attend to this course, which has been on, and I'm sure it would have been a very pleasant experience. If there has been any shortfall, any lacuna, well, take care. We are in the process of setting everything right to everybody's liking. I think we have repaired our guest house.
Yes, sir.
So some furniture, all other paraphernalia we are improving. So next time when next course will be taking place this way, it will be a far better experience. I'm sure you would have enjoyed this also.
Yes, sir.
So that's about it. And let me also tell you, this is a place which is very spiritual, very positive. One enjoys whenever you are here. You would have also got the same experience. And the idea of such a course is you would have interacted and followed the best practices which are there in the university. And from this discussion, whatever you need to do it in your institute in terms of whatever you have interacted with, will also go a long way in improving that. And as long as that can be done, I think our purpose of attending this would have been fulfilled to the hilt, to the utmost satisfaction of every individual. So as long as that has been done, we are also very happy, very pleased, very delighted that all this is a very successful exercise. I wish that from here percolates to the other departments and to other centers as well, so that a university grows in the right direction. It is in the right direction, but grows faster, better. In Olympics they say higher, faster, lofter and whatever. That's the motto with which we will grow. So my compliments to the whole team, and I wish you all the very best in all your endeavors. Thank you and God bless you.
Good morning to all, respected Vice-Chancellor, the Registrar and the Director of HRDC, the Program Coordinator and all our professional colleagues. That in our Karnataka, one area is there, Malnadi area. It's a Shivamogga. Actually, what will happen during the summer, the forest will, what will happen? The leaves will be dried up. After a few days, the monsoon will come. The monsoon will come in such a way that the entire area becomes lush green. It happens in the Pondicherry University campus also. Before 2017, it was like that only. Whenever honorable the Vice-Chancellor sir, he came to the campus, there is a monsoon of developments. It may be in the academic, it may be in the research projects, it may be in terms of buildings. Believe me or not, I experienced it since October 2022 up to yesterday evening. There was a chain of conducting the interview for teaching, non-teaching and CAS. Not only for extending the manpower, infrastructure also. One more thing I would like to add, even the library also got the smart board in the seminar hall. But due to this, the busy schedule with the refresher course, we did not extend for the inauguration and all. Definitely, we will do the same thing. Another thing, the registrar and director who made the refresher course in a physical mode. Actually, since 2019 December onwards, all the refresher course will be in the online mode. So we will be thankful to our the registrar and HRDC director also. The program coordinator is very punctual. Even sometimes I will come by 9:30, 9:15, but the program coordinator will be exactly by 9 o'clock. On the first day, he was at 8 o'clock. So because of all these, the support in the sense of both the coordination and cooperation, the hope the refresher course is successful along with the support of the madam also. In this regard, we are thankful to the university and all authorities. Thank you and all, sir.